Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Steering wheel. Laps of steering wheel, yeah. Steering wheel. Hey, steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to it. Come on! Whoa!
Your leg, my please. Your leg hip.
How the f*** that's possible?
I'm driving like a grandma. Get that, Ralph? Did you hear me? Proper radio. Ralph, acknowledge. Now, come on, close him down and kill him. We've got a lunatic on the track down the Hanger Straight.
I am so annoyed.
Boys and girls, your attention, please.
Hello and welcome back inside Depart From A for podcast number 958. This is Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
A.K.A. Negative Camera. You know why I've asked you here.
Convince the villagers that I'm harmless.
I mean, that's not asking a lot if I'm honest. Because I'm not. I'm not dangerous. I am harmless. Tonight, for your kind consideration, we're going to cover Formula One news. And you know what that always means. It's not a race weekend, so it's not Paul. But I have to find my other co-host all the way on the right coast of America, nestled in our nation's capital, or close enough to it. You know her, you love her, the lovely, the redoubtable Grace. It's there it is. Grace. How you doing, Grace?
Whoever you are this week. It's fine. That's great. Welcome.
How about a sound clip, a sound bite? That'd be nice,
good.
wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I was like, can you hear that? I don't know.
Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay.
Yes, I got it.
Fair enough. Good. Grace, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. What'd you think about that Baku?
It could have gone better for McLaren.
Could have gone better for Ferrari.
That's right. And that was also reflected in our fantasy team, you know.
Yeah.
Ferrari looked good. And I was like, but it's Ferrari. But, you know, it's the end of the season. You just got to go for it.
I know. What are you going to do? You got to try to make up ground somewhere in the fantasy GP.
Yeah, sure, right? But Ferrari was not it.
No. Who had Carlos Sainz on their fantasy podium?
I know, right?
Yeah.
But could anybody be any happier? No. I mean, everybody loves Carlos.
Yeah.
And that was great. And even Alex helped celebrate. So it was great. It was good to see. And, it was kind of like when Nico won, or, even when Pierre Gasly won during the pandemic, right? You love that. Like, you want this guy to win. So it was good to see.
Yeah. Everybody loves the Spaniard. It's
like that Max Verstappen guy. It's fine. We're tired of him winning already. He can be done.
Yeah, it's that, it's, come on, man. It's.
Oh, it cannot be Ricky.
It cannot be Ricky. Everybody likes Carlos.
That's right. So, everybody loves a little smooth operator.
Yes, so don't they just?
Glad he got on the podium, and, great for wins.
Good.
Do better, McLaren.
Yes.
Work on your pit stops, too, while I'm at it. What's your problem?
I know, yet another slow one.
What are you doing?
It's brutal.
What are you doing?
Brutal.
What are you doing?
Got to come bouncing back this weekend, though, Grace, in Singapore. Bouncing back strong.
Yeah. Although, I always love the permutations. They're trying hard to make it seem like Max might get the World Drivers' Championship, but...
Yeah, they are, yeah. They've got... They got the abacus out on that one.
That's right. But I always love when it's like, if somebody, if Max Verstappen sneezes on lap 2 and,
right.
Lewis Hamilton spins the car around and drives backwards, it is possible that Kimi Räikkönen wins the championship this year. I love this, ridiculous permutations we get.
I know. And they're always kind of fun when they're just far enough out from the end of the season that the permutations take, 16 teams or drivers to do
Yes.
certain things in order to
Right.
make that happen. And the farther out you go, the more it's like, Yuki Tsunoda can finish no better than 8th.
Right.
Then, it's like, okay. And no better than 8th with Nico Hulkenberg out of the points in the next, it's the permutations are fun. Mind-numbing, but fun.
It's the world's greatest parlay bet is what it is.
Yeah,
it's really fun to see like all the things that have to happen for this one random thing that is not going to happen.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Totally. Well, let's cover some F1 news, what news there was in the off week, the week between Baku and Singapore. And the first thing is, I saw this headline. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was up to speed when, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they announced, that Christian Horner had been removed from the director or whatever it was role and all that stuff. And I think we've been announcing the departure of Christian Horner since July. And
yeah, that's right. He's gone, which is good. We got it.
It's like the farewell tour that doesn't end, I
mean, Mekis is running it now. We're good. We've all moved on. Horner who? We've moved on.
I know. And it's like the Rolling Stones farewell tour that just doesn't end. They just go every 3 or 4 years on a farewell tour. Or maybe that's the Who. I can't remember. But anyway, this week...
It's better if it's the Who because they don't even like each other anymore.
Yeah. How about that? Yeah.
Just here for the money, literally.
We all hate each other. We fired our drummer because he sucks. But apparently, since the last tour, he got terrible.
Yeah, right.
It's like, whoa.
I mean, it's just you're just watching, Pete Townsend, and they're just giving each other eyeballs the whole time. Like, I hate you.
You miss the Ox, don't you? You just miss the Ox.
Yeah.
So, this news so it caught me off. I guess I'm making a long story as long as possible here, but this headline caught me off guard. I thought, well, okay, I thought this was all done, but it wasn't. Christian Horner officially departs Red Bull. I don't think we'll have another Christian Horner or something leaves Red Bull or something in the future. I think this is probably officially it after 20-year tenure at the helm, having been sacked in July for his role as team principal and CEO. He leaves a pretty impressive record. We've talked about that. He's got 8 drivers championships, 6 constructors titles. Not too shabby.
Get on it, Zach.
Not too shabby. Apparently, this is what I found interesting out of this, though, folks. Mm-hmm. He was supposed to have a pretty massive payout. I think some were saying it was like 100 million pounds, right? Okay. I don't know what that is in new money. Like $1 trillion. I don't know what that is. But anyway, 100 million pounds. And it was supposed to run until 2030, right? That was the original one. But apparently, get this, adding fuel to fire grace, here's where the silly season starts. He agreed to take a reduced exit package of only, get this, I mean, we're just scraping by here. Instead of 100 million pounds, only 75 to 80 million pounds.
Wiping them tears away all the way to the bank.
I'm telling you. How do you survive on that?
I don't know. So what was there a trade-off? Did he get something for taking us?
I'm so glad
that's what's interesting, right?
Yes, this is the interesting point.
Never take less money unless you're getting something for it, no matter how much that less money is in my world, right?
So, and this is totally, this is something you and I would do, Grace. Okay. If they're going to give you $100 million and you said, okay, well, this whole non-compete thing, I'll take $20 million less. And that allows him to return to F1 as early as summer of 2026 or next spring. How about
Come on, Alpine.
That?
Come on, Flavio Briatore. Don't let me down now. Come on. How is that not going to be great?
I know.
Please go to Alpine.
He should. Because here's why I say he should. I know why you say he should, and you're 100% right. Just the stories and the everything.
The dramatic trash fire?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, it'll be great.
It'll be great. I say he should because I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm telling you, if he ended up over at Alpine, he'll turn that whole team around. I think he
Which
can
would
do
also
it.
Be great.
It would be great.
I mean, much like often we're like, well, if they can't win a championship in another manufacturer, did they really that great, right? Michael Schumacher would only win a Ferrari. Is he really that great, right? This would show you, this is like winning in another manufacturer, right? He wins Alpine, which has been terrible for years, continues to be terrible. Turn that around, that'd be pretty great.
It'd be a great
Also,
story.
if they could bring back Cyril Bitbull around the same time, doing something.
Yes.
At Alpine, that's what I really need. I need
Cyril.
Flavio, Cyril Bitbull, and Christian Horner all together. I could write Drive to Survive.
Oh,
just
my
hire
gosh.
me. This would be great.
The whole season of Drive to Survive would be just about Alpine because
absolutely.
think about it. You have Christian Horner, Cyril Bitbull, who, he had a falling out with, it was a Renault.
Yeah.
You have Flavor Flav, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you have Pierre Gasly. If Horner shows up, he'll be going, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Get Ricciardo.
Get D-Rick.
Ricciardo.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get
We can have
D-Rick back
Gasly
in
and
there.
Ricciardo. Yeah.
Yeah. Get the team back together.
This is great.
Yeah, that would be great, wouldn't it? So, well, anyway, that was a trade-off, man. He took a 20 million pound hit so he could come back as early as next spring. So we'll see if he does.
Do you think it was like a year before?
Yeah, it probably was, or longer. But wouldn't you think, though, Grace, would you make that deal if you didn't kind of have something in the works? I mean, if nothing was really in the works and Cadillac, boy, they were quick out to a microphone to say, nope, Christian's not coming here. They were very quick to make that clear.
They'd like to keep Team Rubens together, right? Like, that's not going to happen.
No, we ought to go with Sergio, not Christian. So they made that clear. I got to think you wouldn't take a 20 million pound hit if you didn't have something going. Wouldn't you?
But who wouldn't take him?
Well, I don't. You'd be stupid not to.
Go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, again, that would be like Lewis Hamilton being like, where am I going to ride? Here?
Yeah.
And we don't need George, right? Like, somebody will find a place for you, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't worry about that either.
You'd be silly not to. He's delivered 8 drivers' championships and 6 constructors,
Yeah.
And he bought the Jaguar team, which very much like Alpine now was horribly underperforming, right?
Yeah.
And turned it all around in about 7 or 8 years, if memory serves correct.
Yeah.
That's about what it took.
Or you could go to Aston Martin. I think that would be an interesting.
I think it would be too, but I'm assuming Adrian Newey would have an issue because Adrian Newey has part of the action over there, right?
Maybe that's the cut that they gave to Adrian Newey, right? Like, well, how about we give you this little bit on top of the big bit we're already giving you? Is that enough to sweeten this deal for you?
Right. But I got to think if he went over to Alpine, I could see, because he and Flavio are buddies. So I could see Flavor Flav and Christian doing a deal where they take the team, right? Because they're not running Renault Power anymore. So what's the point? Right. So maybe they get some investors. They already have some investors for venture capital. Maybe they do that, and he and Flav take over the team and turn it around. I could see him doing that.
And Flavio has no desire to be the Christian Horner,
No,
like a team principal or a CEO. He doesn't really want to seem interested in doing that. In fact, I think of all people, he's like, wait, what? I'm in charge?
Yeah.
What? Where did everybody go?
Where's that Zafnauer kid?
Right, what's he doing? Podcast? Get him back in here.
Get him back in here. Let him take the beating. I don't want this job.
I don't want to do this.
So, well, his final 18 months were marked by controversy, as we know. And then he had all those key departures like Adrian, Jonathan Wheatley, internal power struggles with Yoss the boss. And then the ownership. So that all but he has been linked to, like, I say linked, that's what the British press says, but the obvious is Alpine, obviously. Cadillac denied any involvement, and Ferrari just extended their deal with Fred. So I don't see, although truth be known, I think Ferrari should have thought about that one a little longer, because if they could have picked up Christian, that might have been what they needed to turn that thing around. But I don't think he would have done it, because from everything I've read, he wants a piece of the team like Toto has.
Oh, yeah. I don't...
And Ferrari isn't going to do that.
Why would you want that? I mean, because there's so much that goes with Ferrari.
Yeah.
You know, like, so you have an uphill battle and you have, like, the weight of the Tifosi around your neck at the same time, right? Like, why? Yeah. Right? Any of the Alpine's an uphill battle. Why would you add some weight to it by taking over Ferrari?
I mean,
right?
to credit to Fred, to your point, you got to be cut from a different cloth to walk into that deal with Ferrari. I mean, you're walking into, I mean, that's baptism by fire right there.
Yeah. I just think, to me, that just doesn't seem... Unless you, I mean, a lot of the drivers do it, right? Because the driver's like, well, I had Ferraris on my wall and posters, right? Like, unless you have some sort of like, right? Unless you have that kind of like, ooh, I feel it in my soul. I need to be at Ferrari. Yeah. Why? Why would you do that, right? So, because that's just going to be hard. Go to Alpine, it can't be nearly as hard.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, the articles were saying, yeah, well, you know, hey, Lauren Mackey's saw improved results and everything, and with Verstappen's back-to-back win, and this just shows that it was the right move, and I'm kind of like, it's a little more complicated than that.
Yeah, but, you know.
But it makes for a great story about getting rid of Christian. Now we're back in the winning ways. Woohoo! Thanks, Laurent. It's a bigger issue than that. Laurent showing up for a race or two and then winning back to back had very little to do with Laurent.
I do though think that the Yuki blasphemy has taken a sidestep, and that is for sure related to Christian Horner. They are much more supportive of Yuki now than they were before. Yeah. So, regardless of what happens next season.
Yeah, right. But last weekend, Grace, he had a good result, and something that maybe Laurent may have done is in the development they brought a new underfloor and those kind of things, and maybe that's down to Pierre Wache and some genius on his part. But Paul and I talked about it. Whatever they've done, they whether it's in setup or a combination of setup and new upgrades. They've definitely went with Yuki's car down a path that Yuki can perform better in, at least, right? Max went and won, but Yuki was able to do better, and I think that's a positive.
I do too.
And probably, I would imagine it's important to Laurent, having worked with Yuki for all that time. I'm sure, he wants to give Yuki a fighting chance at it, so that's good,
Yeah, I think so. So I think that's where, I mean, just like it's, Alonso is an alien, so you can never really, the make of how good a car is. You can't look at Alonso. You have to look at whoever's teammate is, right? So it's the same thing. Like Max is an alien. You can't look at him to see how good the car is. Yeah. But it is good to see that, Yuki is finding success and the team has stopped slandering him all the time. So that's got to help.
Right.
When your employer isn't trying to kill you at every turn, that's got to help.
Yeah, but it won't be very long, and then Helmut Marko will be like,
goodbye, good luck, and good riddance.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's Helmut.
I do love all the memes that Isaac Hajar is just trying to like dodge getting that second seat. Like,
I know.
I was doing well. Oh, it's mine. Into the curve I go. Like into the wall I go. Right. Like I don't want that seat. Like he's like, trust the process. Right. He of course he would, but I mean, that's not as much fun, right? Like, where's the joy in the fact that, and it's really because none of us want Isaac Hajar to be ruined by Red Bull.
Right. Yeah. Liam already was. So.
Right. Like, don't ruin like, how many people do you have to ruin? Please stop ruining very nice people that are very
Alex
good drivers.
Albon,
like, stop.
Pierre, Liam, Nick DeVries. There's 4 recent. We could go back to Buemi and all those people. And
right. Like, so stop chewing them up and spitting them out. So we just want, like, Isaac Hajar seems to like, he's fun. He's a good space. He's a good driver. We're really like, oh yeah, we're into this guy. Don't chew him up and spit him out now.
Yeah,
Red Bull.
Right.
Let him be.
Well, with Laurent there, it's a kinder, gentler Red Bull, maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows? With Helmut there, I doubt it, but we'll see.
I don't know. Maybe Mickey just got him under control.
You think?
He just gives him the look, right? Like
you could see, Laurent. I mean, I'm sure he's got some tooth to him, but he seems like a pretty affable guy, a diminutive guy, and you can see him in the conference room with Helmut. Oi, shut it, old man.
You know what? He strikes me as that person that's like, I'm disappointed. Like, that's the worst. Like, when your parents are like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Yes.
So to me, he brings that kind of like, he doesn't really yell, he doesn't get angry, but he does get disappointed. And he can convey that in a look. And you just know when your parent looks at you, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like this, I don't need words. I know exactly what's happening.
It's like the big boss, Laurent, you know, when he gets disappointed, people disappear. You know? The bodies will never be found. That's an old movie reference. Tell me who it was if you get it. The bodies must never be found. All right. Someone will get that movie reference.
Oh, for sure they will.
DM
Somebody
me.
right now is yelling at the...
They're going, I know that. That's... Yes, I know. Yeah. Anyway, that's your update on Horner. He is officially done, out.
Until the summer.
Until the summer. And then he comes charging back in. And
he'll have a spring to his step.
He will. He'll have a spring to his step and all that stuff. And maybe percent ownership in a team. And then he'll take the battle to Toto. It'll be great. I'd love to see it again. And then, you know, it'll get Zach all puffed up. You know, Zach gets all puffed up and mouthy with Christian, so that'll be fun. That'll be good. Let's see. Other news in Formula One. GM, that would be General Motors, the American car company who owns Cadillac. So you have GM, you have Cadillac, GMC. That's trucks. All right, forget that. You got Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick. These are all... Buick. I'll be honest with you, Grace. I kind of miss the Pontiac brand.
I mean, my first car was a Pontiac Grand Am, a red Pontiac Grand Am, so you know.
My very first car, 1969 Pontiac Firebird convertible.
Well, see, yours was much cooler.
And I miss the Pontiac brand.
Yeah. I will say, though, that the turn signal was just like a ball joint. And so I remember once hitting the turn signal and it like popped right out.
Nice.
Like, you know, when you're like 16, 17, nice. You're like... Right, like you're just like panicked, right? Yeah. Like as an adult, you're just like, I get the damn back and we keep going, right? But like as a kid, you're just like, oh no,
right?
What my car just broke.
Right. I mean, as far as European cars, I've always loved the Lamborghini Miura. I think that is like one of the most stunning cars ever made, visually, not mechanically. I'm just saying visually. But I sent out a thing asking, okay, so of American muscle cars, what I got to be honest with you. That 1967 Pontiac GTO with the stacked headlights is just about the bomb. Yeah, if I was going to go out and I was infinitely wealthy and I wanted to buy an American muscle car, totally redone rotisserie style, it'd be a 67 Goat. That car is just awesome. So there you go. GM. Did I mention GM? Of course I did. Well, they have been approved as an F1 power unit supplier starting in 2029. So they have GM Performance Power Units, LLC. That's to absolve any further up-the-chain liability, of course, to GM. A collaboration between TWG Motorsports and General Motors, TWG, another group to avoid liability for General Motors. And then, I'm just joking. Am I? So TWG Motorsports and General Motors received FIA approval to supply power units from 2029. The units will power the Cadillac F1 team, who are entering the sport in 2026 with Ferrari engines initially before switching to GM's homologated engines. Now, you ask, gee, Todd, where are they going to be doing all this engine stuff? And I have to look.
Faster, Todd.
Yeah, I am looking faster.
Where are they going to be doing all this engine stuff?
I know. Well, here's the deal. Facilities include a European base. I know they just lump it in as European, and I know they consider themselves that, but I always tend to separate the UK. I always think European is the mainland, but anyway. A European base near Silverstone and a new HQ. Where is it? In Woking? No, it's not. In
it's not the Paragon.
Kent? No, not in Kent.
Oh,
no.
Paul would have to go back.
It's just a stone's throw from where I live in St. Louis. They're in Fishers, Indiana.
Fishers, Indiana. Look at that.
How about that? Ongoing prototype testing in a dedicated U.S. facility opening in 2026.
Okay.
Fishers, Indiana. I could get over there in just a couple of hours, hang around, wave at employees as they come in the front entrance. Hi.
Some pom-poms.
I do an F1 podcast.
You guys are great. Good job.
I've been podcasting about F1 since 2005. Talk to me? No. So anyway, so that's where they're doing that. FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem noted it advances global expansion, innovation, sustainability, and inclusivity in the motorsport. I believe maybe he agrees with about one of those, but anyway,
it sounded good.
It sounded
it was a
great.
Good word salad.
Boy, you've just ticked off all the boxes there for the press release. Way to go, MBS!
Sustainability.
I know. Way to go.
That's right. Good
Big
job,
question is: will MBS ever go to Fishers, Indiana, to visit?
Well, that would be great.
Can you imagine him going to Fishers, Indiana?
Going to that Steak and Shake. I can't wait.
Going to Steak and Shake. Going down to the local diner, having a cup of coffee in a ceramic mug that weighs 3 pounds. It's just,
That
pure
I'd
Americana.
like to see. That would be fun.
That's
a road trip.
They do like a buddy show on that.
They should. You know how they did the Drive to Survive with Gunther and Bonato?
Yes.
That's what they should do, right? We should do a ride along with MBS on his way to Fishers, Indiana.
Fishers, Indiana. Living, doing all the things that us Midwesterners do out here.
And him and Farley, they could do it together.
They could. They could. You got a Ford guy going to a Cadillac plant.
Be fine. Don't worry. It's fine.
What did you do? MBS knocks the door off the car.
Wouldn't it just be fun? I just like the idea that there has to be a way for those two people to be together and do a road trip. That just sounds like
that
fun.
would be good. Yeah, that would be good with him. Or you could do it with Valtteri.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that
it turned into a Wes Anderson movie. It was Valtteri. His whole life is a Wes Anderson movie.
They could just pick up Bill Murray along the way, right? It would be fine. He'll just ride around in the back seat, and it'll be exactly like that. And Owen Wilson, there you go. And then it really would be a Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
Wow, it's an engine.
Yeah, you have Bill there with MBS. Don't drive angry.
That's right.
Yeah. Well,
it was a pretty good Owen Wilson.
Yeah,
I don't know if the wow was pretty good. I don't know if you have any more, Owen Wilson, but that part was.
Don't.
There you go.
With Renault bowing out as an engine supplier, Cadillac's entrance is very welcome, obviously, and it's going to be interesting to see what might come of recent talks. And this is just me saying this. I am kind of tracking along a little bit on this whole discussion around V8s for 2029 or should be 2030, right? And there's a lot of discussion with the FIA teams on the regulation changes 2026, and those are dramatic, and releasing a new engine at the tail end of those regulations would be problematic, and so they want to do it in 2030 with the new regulations. But there's a lot of discussion going around this. But it's all about possibly moving back to a simpler power unit configuration of a V8 using biofuels, right? Truly organic biofuels instead of petrol. And this would allow them to go back to a V8, a simpler configuration, less expensive to manufacture, and still maybe return like a KERS braking, hybrid component to that. But that's a lot easier to do than an MGUH and all that good stuff. So the idea that I'm thinking is Cadillac coming back, and that's good because Renault's leaving, right? So now they're getting another manufacturer in. And I'm curious to see if the V8 does come back, if you might not see engine suppliers like Gibson or Cosworth or somebody else kind of throwing their hat in the ring as a supplier might be kind of interesting too in 2029, 2030, whatever. So who knows? But there you go. So if you were worried, if you're a huge GM fan, a big Cadillac fan.
Really into that Buick, yeah.
Yes. If you really, really love that old 88, the Brougham, you probably a little upset about Ferrari powering that for you. this coming year. You know, you're not a Ferrari person. You are a General Motors person. And so the good news is they're going to have their own lump by 2029. Good news. Which is
that's very reasonable. I don't know who these people would be. It'll be all right. I think like that's it. I'm over this sport.
Maybe.
How dare you put that Italian piece of crap in my car?
I could see a NASCAR fan that became an F1 fan thinking that. Oh, wait a minute. It's Cadillac. It's GM. Why are you putting a Ferrari engine in that? That's a bunch of Italian crap. It's General Motors, you know. Could see that.
I mean, I could see it. I'm just saying, people, like, this is kind of normal, right? You come in, you it's what Haas did, right? You come in, you buy as many parts as you can, and then you slowly go, okay, we can make this one, we can make this one, we can make this one. We're never going to make that one.
Right.
You know.
Look how long it took Christian Horner to say, okay, you know what, screw it. We'll just make our own engine.
We're just making our own engine from now on.
It took many, many, many years.
I just don't think you're going to roll. I think it would be foolish to think you could roll in with your completely all your own thing. That's what I'm mocking.
Of course, you say that.
Somebody's going to do it.
You say that, but then we got Audi coming in with their own thing. But they've had 3 years to work on this.
Correct.
You know?
In Sauber, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you know, if you listen to the rumors, and maybe they had 20 years to work on that. I don't know. They've been saying Audi's coming for 15 years.
Every year.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm still not convinced they'll be there until we get to the first race and they're on the grid.
No, I'm with you. They may be Godot. It may never happen. So it's fine.
Yeah, it could be like Zoran GP. You know, they show up, they don't have any tires for the chassis, and they're on the outside of the gate looking in. Yeah. Yeah. So
me and that guy from McLaren. It's just us. That's it.
So if nobody knows that story, you have to go Google that. But that actually did happen.
So I think there's So anyway, people, I mean, I guess maybe if you're upset that it's a Ferrari, but this is normal. Like, nobody's just going to roll in and be like, I brought all my own parts. Yeah. And I'm going to do this.
Right.
It's not how it works.
Right.
It'll be all right.
Right.
They'll get there.
Right. Okay. Let's move to a sad story. All right. Let's just tone it down. I'm talking about myself here, Grace. I'm going to bring it to a sad story. A very sad story about Lewis Hamilton's dog, Roscoe. We all know and love seeing Roscoe in the paddock. He's hung up his helmet, folks. And Lewis shared some tough news on Monday that his beloved dog, Roscoe, had passed. I've seen a lot, and so kudos to all of you, like, you know, Jeremy Clarkson and F1 drivers, and I think Leo and Charles even went and visited with Lewis, and so I've seen a lot of heartwarming, very heart-touching condolences and everything. And then I did the stupid thing, which is started reading all these comments, and they're just vile, folks, and it's so sad, you know. I think and I'm a dog owner, so I love dogs. I have cats too, but I'm a big dog lover. And, you know, my cat over there, that if you can see on the back shelf there, that's, I had a American Eskimo, and I had to put her down. And it just kills you. If you don't own dogs or haven't owned dogs, then you won't know this, but dogs are incredible. I've had several dogs in my lifetime, and anyone who owns them knows how connected you become and how much love a dog offers. And it is 100% unconditional love. You know, it doesn't matter how your day went, good or bad or anything. When you come home, your dog is so happy to see you. And that kind of just unconditional love is amazing that you get. And so I've been through that, and I know how heart-wrenching. I have 3 Australian Shepherds now, and it'll just crush me when that time comes. And I've had to, like Lewis, part ways with a dog. And so, you know, just have some grace, people. This, you know, it's a tough time. It's like losing a family member. I'm not trying to humanize dogs. They're just a dog, and I get it. But if you're a dog owner, you become so emotionally attached to your dogs.
I think pets hold a different place in our hearts. I always have never understood why people are like, "Ooh, it's not a human." It's not a human, and a human is not my pet, right? Like they're totally different. And I've had to put down pets too. I think that's common. People have that experience, and it's never great. Right. And I've had to put down cats, and it's terrible. But it's the greatest gift is that they love you all the time unconditionally, and they're always there, and they don't bring their agenda to this like humans do. And yet you will outlive them most likely. Yeah. So that's always the terribleness of that relationship. But and he gets to grieve how he wants to grieve, right?
Yeah.
So he's comfortable putting that all on Facebook, and we all know Roscoe. Same thing with Coco, right?
Yeah.
He brings his dogs with him; they're a part of it. I always love the image of Angela having to carry Roscoe from up in his suite all the way down those long running steps, and she's a small person, and she's carrying this giant Roscoe, and I'm like, somewhere she's like, this was not in the deal. This was not in my contract. Was having to carry this giant dog because he's got such short legs. I'm sure he can't do those spiral steps.
Right. You remember the Roscoe cam where they had a camera and he was going through Silverstone, and it just kind of lumbered along. It just it was great. And
they're great dogs.
Lewis has lots of friends. He's been in and out of relationships and those kind of things, and he's got lots of friends and stuff. But for the last 12 years, his one consistent was Roscoe, right? And you get really attached. And all of you out there listening that have dogs, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you who don't, what the heck? It's just a dog, why you make a big deal? But it is a big deal, and it hurts.
Just let it be. Yeah. I think that's the other thing too. If you really feel that way, then just move on.
Yeah, move on.
I don't get that either, right? Like, he doesn't have to justify his grief, nor do you, nor do I.
Yeah.
He gets to do what he wants. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep on going.
Yeah. So from all of us here as a fellow dog owner, Lewis, we're thinking about you and remembering Roscoe and I love seeing Charles and Leo. That's great in the paddock. Little Leo is as cute as it gets.
I'm no kidding.
And I love it when the drivers bring like a dog, and you get to see their dogs are pretty great because I'm a dog lover. But so anyway. So condolences to Lewis. It's a very, very, very tough thing to have to put a dog down, and it's emotionally brutal because you're making that decision, and you're making the decision to stop something that you've loved for 12 years, and it's very difficult to do. So
we had our cat Newt. She had Luke, so we knew that she would only live 3 years, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, they don't know. That's the other thing too. Is that like a human, they know. Because you want to talk about, what are our plans? When are we going to make the decision while everybody's, healthy, right? We don't want to wait and have to make a rush decision. And so Flip and I are talking about it, and she just shows up like, hey guys, what's going on?
What are we talking about?
Like, okay, that was great. I guess we'll think about it later, right? Like,
we'll have this discussion later. Yeah.
Euthanasia. I love kids, right?
Right. Yeah,
so so you kind of have to work through that, and I'm glad that he has support, and I'm glad that people
overwhelmingly everybody's been very, very kind about it because everybody loved Roscoe and loved seeing Roscoe and so
he's a personality.
Yeah, lots of the F1 drivers giving him condolences. So I'm glad to see that. I just thought all the silly comments and bio comments were crazy. Let's see. Formula One extends the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That's right, folks. Until 2030, the race is going to stay on the calendar for 4 more years.
There you go.
So if you weren't a fan of the 6-kilometer Baku city circuit, well, you aren't going to like it anymore because it's there for 4 more years. All replete with its tight corners, long straights, and narrow turns through the old town by the castle. And the new turn where Oscar and Charles played darts with the F1 logo and the Tech Pro Bears. That was fun.
It was like darts.
It was, wasn't it? It was just like, ooh, bullseye for Charles.
Yes.
Ooh, just off for Oscar. But, So, anyway, it's going to stay there. Debuted back in 2016. As you'll recall, permanent since 2017. It's kind of interesting. 2024 drew fans from 70-plus countries and 66 million TV viewers, which is an interesting number and seems, good, but low to me. So that's kind of interesting. 66 million isn't nothing. But compared to some of the other races, it's on the lower side. So
I wonder, it would be interesting to see as well, like its placement on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I know this is as for you, right? Like football started and it's like, oh, shoot, what I'm keeping up with. There's too much.
Right.
So right. I think that, the overlapping season. So, I wonder how much. And then people are like, well, it's going to be a McLaren. It's too many races. Again, like I joked with, when they had the Braun GP documentary, and it was like, and we're done. Brazil, we're done. It's like 14 races, we're done, right? Like the season was much more manageable. So I would wonder about that too. Even though Baku, I don't think has been anywhere else on the calendar, it would be interesting to see like maybe a lot of the races at this time of the year kind of fit that. Yeah. As opposed to it's just a dip for Baku. I don't have the data. Yeah. It would be interesting to see how that looks.
Yeah, it's a good point. And it brings up the question of, the number of races. We've got 24 races. We're talking about doing more sprint races and all that kind of thing. And a big hat tip to, and apologies because I didn't know what business a sport is. So I apologize. That's not you. It's me. I don't really get out much. So I wasn't aware of it, but I saw people quoting it. And so I went and looked. And it was a really good interview, guys. A great job on your part, of James Vowles at Williams. And in that interview, so if you haven't listened to it, look for Business of Sport, and they got a YouTube channel and stuff, and they did a really good interview with James and asked some great questions. So kudos to them. And one of the questions they were asking, the amount of races, is it too much, et cetera, et cetera. And James said, well, this is just my opinion, not sharing anything about Williams or anything like that, just his personally. He said he favors doing 26 race weekends, but eliminating Fridays. Just 2 days. And his point is for an hour before qualifying, you get one practice session, and that's it. Yeah. And he said then the variables will show up. You'll have odd grids because we have so much free practice and so much we can do and test and really fine tune our cars and et cetera with 3 practice sessions. But he said if you only gave us 1 hour, and that was before qualifying, and then we qualified and we had to race on Sunday, it would change things up a little bit and would make it a little more unpredictable. And I thought he said since you're eliminating the Fridays, you pretty much gain that back. You could do 26 race weekends, but just do away with the Fridays, and it's still a net gain. You're doing less work. For more weekends because you're giving up all those Fridays for all those races. And so it was kind of interesting. I was thinking about that. And my first thought was, well, okay, but what about the sprints? I guess he's saying you would ditch that, right? You ditch the sprints. If you just had a 1 hour practice on Saturday morning, you qualified on Saturday, and boom, you race on Sunday. There's no room for a sprint in there. But you're getting 2 extra races.
It would also depend on, I don't know what all the tracks, how much support races you have in there too, right? Mm-hmm. That's some part of it. There is something going on Friday, even if it is only Formula One practice, there is, for the fans and for the track. That's part of their revenue is the Friday. Some even have events Thursday as well, but,
it's just me, and I'm sure it's a money thing. I'm sure the answer to this is money. So it's stupid of me to ask. But why can't F1 align its sport entertainment package with F2 and F3 and all 3 run at all of the races?
Oh, like MotoGP does? Mm-hmm. So that you always get to see Moto2, Moto3, and MotoGP? I don't know.
Because, no offense to the support races and stuff, but if I went to, I could be honest with you, if I went to races or on race weekends, and race weekends consisted of FP3 race, FP2 race, and F1, I would love to see that at every race on the same tracks because we're watching the up and coming F1 stars, right?
Right. And the other thing too is I've said this before, but when Baltimore used to have the Indy race for 4 years, I would always take people on Saturday because watching Indy Lights is always a much more interesting race than watching the Indy cars because the Indy cars are sort of like, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah. Whereas the Indy Lights, it's all sprint every race, right? And so it's much more interesting if you've never been to a race or you're a casual fan to go on Saturday. It's also cheaper. And then you get to see some actual action as opposed to the longer chess game that is a full season for whatever your premier level is. Right. And so I agree with you. I think that you see You see more action. You see more because they just aren't. It isn't a marathon for them, and and they're younger and they're less experienced. And then you're right. Then you would get to see them compared on the same track as what they eventually are trying to get to.
And I know they race at some of the races. I'm not that dense. I know they race at several of them. But why not race at all of them? And I'm sure it's money. I'm sure it's expensive for those.
But even if they don't do the flyaways or something, like I'm sure there's some amount of, don't go to Australia. I don't know. Don't go to. I don't know. I'm sure you can make it work.
Don't go to America.
Don't go to Miami. How about that?
Speaking of Miami, I forgot to mention it in the Cadillac story. Cadillac, the team just hired, I think his first name is Tyler Epp, who was the guy who led the Miami Grand Prix coming in and was the operation. There was the operation guy over all of that. And so it just shows you where his love for the Miami Grand Prix was. Boom! First call, I'm off to a Formula One team. See ya.
Thanks for the fruity beverage by the beach.
Like I got time for a race in the parking lot. No, thank you. I'll be over here at Cadillac.
I'm going to Indiana, folks.
I'm going to Fishers, Indiana.
Miami to go to Indiana.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Old home Indiana.
But I think
where's Jim Neighbors when you need him?
I don't think he's alive anymore.
No, he's
that
not.
Would be a problem.
That's going to be an issue.
I mean, this would be a whole different podcast if Jim showed up. I mean, and you made it 45 minutes in just to find out what kind of podcast this is, right? Like,
yes, it would be.
Get the Ouija board out, babe. This is a whole different kind of show now.
Yes.
I think. But to your point, I think you could. I don't know the teams would agree with it, right? Like, I think that's part of it. Is that I don't think they would ever agree to that. But
would the sponsors, race promoters? What do you think? I think the sponsors wouldn't like it. I don't think the race promoters would like it.
No, because they like Friday.
Yeah,
right?
they like Friday.
They want to get as much time.
Yeah, more butts and seats,
and
right?
get people there. Yeah, absolutely.
But do you think the fans would like a 2-day experience? I mean, the whole thing is like, oh well, hey, look, younger generation, they don't like watching TV that much, and so we need to take that into account. And gosh, we're pestering them, and their attention span is like a guppy, and they can't handle 3 days of Formula One. We only just should be 1 day or maybe 2.
They don't have to watch all 3 days. First of all, that's always been true.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing, as living with somebody who will literally watch a whole episode of Saturday Night Live, YouTube clip at a time, which is not my favorite way of watching something. Like, can't we just watch the whole show? Why are we just watching it clip by clip on YouTube?
Right.
But so I get it. That's what the kids do, and I live with the world's oldest millennial. But they will watch the race if it's worth watching. I mean, like, I watch Red Zone. It's not because I have a short attention span, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would watch a whole football game. I'm just now watching like 7 of them at the same time. It's fine. I don't know. I don't buy all this millennial, whatever. That's always been the case. Racing is always, and if you go there trackside, it's part of it is always about like walking around and seeing the people. And I always think that fan experience, that's part of it, right? And like bantering with people and just soaking it in. I mean, come Sunday, you can't leave your seat. That's the other thing too, right? Like Sunday, once you're in your seat, you're in your seat. So you got to use Friday and Saturday to walk around and check things out and get your merch. And
I'm not buying I got the attention span of a gnat, does this Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And
I don't buy it.
Stefano's coming out next week. Hey, 6'7", man, I'm not buying all that. Either you like Formula One or you don't. And if we're going to warp Formula One to some sort of Stygian hell where we watch it in little YouTube clips, then, I'm going to do what the next 2 stories suggest, because I'm not up for that. I'm not. I mean, Formula One is Formula One, and you think, well, okay, but, if the young generation isn't excited about them, we need to change it and make it. I don't know. I will tell you that my daughters being Gen Z, you know what? They actually like 6-minute songs. right? Not
They're
2
good.
minutes and 38 seconds. They actually like 6 minutes. I mean, they would listen to a 12-minute song if it's good. And I think you're missing the point. The point isn't, is Formula One too long? It's, is it good, right? And is it enough to capture the attention or not?
Oh, Todd. Why would it be Formula One's fault?
I know.
It's, of course,
it's
the fans' fault.
It's
Gosh.
the fans. It's the iPad generation.
Just watch this.
Yes, I know.
I don't know. I always think Hannibal Buress did a bit where he was like, no, I can ignore you just as easily with Snake. Right? Like, because on the original phones, that's all we had as a game was Snake.
Yes.
Right? Like, I ignored you playing Snake. I can ignore you playing these fun video games now. It's all the same.
Right.
I'm still not interested in what you have to say to me. It doesn't matter if it's Snake or something high tech.
Right.
Right? Because the fundamental issue is Formula One, and you need to deliver a better product and stop blaming the kids for this.
Yeah, I totally agree. This whole thing about, oh my gosh, this is a generation, the cohort. Boy, you talk about an overused term. Stop it. But I think it's an insult. And my daughters are, like I said, they're Gen Z. They're a perfect example. My youngest daughter was just down at Forest Park at the Evolution event and watching Lenny Kravitz, for crying out loud. You know? Yeah. So stop it. Just stop. Stop belittling people.
Yes, because they'll watch movies.
You
know what I mean? Like, HBO wouldn't exist anymore if that wasn't the case, right? Like, TV shows need some time sometimes, right? Like,
yes.
All right.
Yeah, they'll stream the entire series of Lost, for crying out loud.
Don't do that.
Okay, next up.
It doesn't end well. It starts out well. It doesn't end well.
Amen.
So start it, but don't finish it.
My wife said, "Oh, you gotta watch this," and so I got into it. So I watched it and got to the end. I thought, "You're kidding me."
Yeah, don't.
Are you serious? This is how you bailed out of this series. You might as well just come over and kick me in the shin. That was pathetic.
I know.
Let's see. Next up, this is a tough one to take. My headline is Max Verstappen wins in a Ferrari before Lewis does. And he just won last week in a GT3 race at the Nordschleife Nürburgring Endurance Series, driving a Ferrari 296, which I do not believe, I could be wrong, that our own Paul Charsley has driven. I know he's driven a 458, maybe a 488, and a McLaren 720, and I think he's tootled around the Valkyrie, Aston Martins.
I would hope so.
Yeah, he's driven a lot of really cool sports cars, but I don't think he's driven the 296. Anyway, he was driving.
You've driven a Sunbird, though.
Yeah. He drove a 296 with Emile Ferrari Racing alongside Chris Lohmann. Verstappen jumped from third to first at the start, proceeded to create a gap of approximately, get this, 1 minute at the front of the field over the first 2 hours of the race, which is just incredible. Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah. He's a machine.
He is. So it's interesting. So I got to reading that because a lot of headlines about that, as should be, is a great feat.
Right.
And we know Max likes to do a lot of sim racing, and it's all sports car stuff, right? Mainly, he likes to do that. Not all, but mainly. And then there were some other people who say, well, Max, that's interesting. Max is doing it. Are there other Formula One drivers that are interested in possibly doing that, right? So the other story I saw was that Lando Norris says he wants to race sports cars too. And just as a refresher, he did do the Daytona 24 Hours with Fernando Alonso and Phil Hansen, by the way, in 2018 before joining F1. So Lando has done sports car racing before, but Lando said this: he said, I'd love to. I saw Zach spoke about it the other day with Le Mans as well. The McLaren going to Le Mans. I would love it. I'm not going to be in Formula One forever. I want to go and do other things live my life, try other things, which is very much what Max has been saying. I'll enjoy my time in Formula One, whether it's a mix at some point, meaning maybe I do some Formula One and sports car, I don't know, or do it after he retires, I think is what he's saying. He goes, I love doing Daytona. I did it with Fernando, so it was a cool experience for me at the time. But whether it's Le Mans or Daytona or Sebring, whatever it might be, I want to go do other things. I think the main thing I probably will never do is oval racing. It's just not for me. It brings up an interesting point to me. Not a head scratcher, but kind of an interesting point for me, is that, as you all know, our own Paul Charsley is the sporting manager for Heart of Racing sports car racing team in IMSA and WC and other series, right?
Right.
Now, Paul loves that racing. It's his DNA. That's where he came. He raced sports cars, right? That's what he did as a young lad from Essex. And he loves that. And for years, I share it because I love it too. And so we talk about sports cars a lot between the two of us. But I was chatting with him about, maybe potential drive, survive impact on racing in general. And he was talking about how the crowds are bigger at IMSA and WC, et cetera, et cetera. And there's an interest in sports cars. And I think when you have big names like Max showing up, driving in sports cars, Lando Norris potentially doing that, there should be an increase in interest in sports cars because it's great racing. Because of the multi-class racing, it's more exciting, right?
Right.
And I'm thinking, could F1 fans who are left perplexed with the lack of excitement in F1 be broadening their racing line of sight to sports cars, including F1 drivers now looking at sports cars, maybe thinking about doing some races like Max's? I find that interesting. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just going to be watching that about the interest level in sports car racing in general, and is it starting to ramp up? It'll be interesting to see if they do. We know Fernando did, right? Fernando got in a sports car, won Le Mans, that kind of thing. It kind of had a boost for that particular race. But, it'll be interesting to see if fans that maybe got into F1 start to get into other series.
I mean, that's what you would hope, right? You would hope that somebody like Fernando Alonso or Lando or Max would bring him in and then they would stay.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like, so that's just I think that's what happens to so many of us. Like, I started watching the show because so-and-so was watching it and now I'm hooked. Or, right? Like, so come for the star and then just stay for the rest of the season. I think that would be great. I think that, and I've said this many times too, is that I think there are lots of kinds of racing. And you don't feel limited, right? Like,
I agree.
Sometimes you want something that is a longer, more of a chess match. Watch Formula One. Maybe you want some sports car this week. Like, there's so much out there. Don't limit yourself. Watch it all. Sample it all. Right? Like,
yeah.
It's all good.
You could. There's so much to like about MotoGP. It's an incredible series. That's a great series. Myself. I think Rally is incredible. I think
absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. I think the sports car, I'm a big fan. I watch those, of course, Le Mans and IMSA because Paul and all that, but not just because Paul. I was watching before he was at Heart of Racing, as was he. But anyway, check that out if you're a F1 fan, and you haven't checked out sports cars. Yeah, do it. All right, let's do some Albin's Cats. How about that? Yeah. You are getting the hang of this, Lando. All right. What do you got for us, Grace?
So, you might have heard there was a certain Marc Marquez who is now a 9-time world champion.
Does anybody have anything for Marc Marquez?
So that happened on Sunday. That was great. I think that
is he the GOAT, Grace?
Oh, I think that was absolutely true.
He's the GOAT.
And he's come. I don't know. I can't. I'm a Rossi fan, so I can't fully ever endorse Marc Marquez, right? But
Ross is your OG GOAT.
That's right. I can't. But no, absolutely. And I think the fact that he was able to switch manufacturers.
It's incredible.
He's been very successful on Ducati.
After the injuries and everything he had.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredible.
And I thought two things were cool. So I thought that, because sometimes the racing celebration is a little weird, is a little much. But all they did was they brought Marc out and they just showed like a montage of him from like childhood to today as a motorcycle racer. And I just thought that was really great. And it was just such a nice touch. And then they show him in the cool down room and he's watching himself watch himself. It was like the super most meta thing ever. Yeah. But you know, he was really, really moved and, you know, it was very emotional for him. And you could see that the second, you know, he won it. And then I also thought it was cool. So he was with Honda for a long time, right? And he thought his whole career would be with Honda, but you know, that didn't really work out. And so he switched to Ducati. But Joan Mir, who's on the Honda, finished on the podium. So all his old team was also there. So I thought that was really great too. That, somehow either the bike didn't kill Joan Mir this time or Joan Mir forgot to fall off the bike. I'm not sure which it is, but he finished on the podium, which was pretty great too.
And Pecco won,
so it was
right?
really, Pecco won. He won both the sprint and the race. So I mean, that's great. You know, it you know, we got like 6 races to go, but sure, now figure it out. That's cool. And I just, you know, I'm sure people are like, oh, I see now that Marc's won it, they're going to let Pecco win. That is not how it works, right? This is a team sport. That's not how it works in Formula One. That is certainly not what Ducati's doing either. But he was generally, you know, supportive. We were talking about Carlos and Alex earlier, right? Like it was great to see the two of them, you know, really, you know, everybody was just really congratulatory of Marc, and it was great to see. So I was here for that, and you know, good job, Joan Mir, finishing.
That's great.
On the bike, which doesn't happen very often.
Big applause to Marc Marquez. Awesome job. What a great comeback. It's amazing.
It was a great race. So it was good to see. So give it a watch. The sprint race, it was good. The race was a race, but the sprint race was good, I thought. However, that is not my Albon's cat.
No.
I mean, it is, but it's not the like peak Albon's cats we got for you here. Okay. So you may remember a Formula MotoGP rider named Jorge Lorenzo.
Oh, yes.
I can't do this backwards. That guy over there, right?
Jorge Lorenzo.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. You remember him?
I do.
So this is like the greatest news story since Jorge Lorenzo challenged Danny Pedrosa to a boxing match earlier this season, right? Like, now I explained it then, and Jorge Lorenzo is a weird guy, right? Like, I mean, he was not socialized very well as a child, and I never realized how much that is until we were in Spain, and you know, Adam Wheeler was telling us about how just like, his dad like didn't let him do anything but bikes, and he didn't go to school, and like he really just he's sort of been odd. And I'm like, well, this all makes sense. He really just is an odd kind of guy. So anyway,
he's a world champion, multi.
Yeah, right. 5-time world champion, but not the point. So when I heard this story, at first I was like, you know, you read something, you're like, that can't be a real story. Yeah. Well, this is a real story. So Jorge Lorenzo owns a Ferris wheel in the south of Italy.
What? A Ferris wheel? Who buys a Ferris wheel?
But that's not why. It's not just like he bought a Ferris wheel, but apparently he bought this Ferris wheel in the south of Italy as like an investment. You know, most people, I don't know, buy real estate or something.
Was there a big ROI on Ferris wheel ownership?
Am I missing out on it? Like, who owns the eye in London? What are we missing out on? Ferris wheels are everywhere now, right? Yeah. So he bought this Ferris wheel in this town in the south of Italy, and they're not paying him. And they haven't paid him for over a year. They're keeping his money. So his face is they're still using him in their advertisement. Like, it's Jorge Lorenzo's Ferris wheel. Come ride it. And they're not paying him. He's gone to court over it. Because they haven't been paying him for over a year the money that's coming off this Ferris wheel that he invested in.
What's it make in a year?
I don't know.
10 grand?
I was just like, when they said how much
what do you make?
owe him, I was just like,
100 grand?
It was just like the weirdest. Okay, so he bought it for 1.4 million euros and signed a 4-year lease.
I am way out on the whole how much does a Ferris wheel actually make you in a year. I mean, I'm surprised, people don't have Ferris wheels all over the place if they're worth that kind of money.
Gosh.
And you get, I mean, what are they charging for a couple loops on that? You know, $10, $20 a ride?
Okay. So Jorge says, the last Euros I received was in September 2024, exactly 1 year ago. After all these months of not paying me, the debt amounted to more than 200 euros.
What? He bought into this thing for 1.4 and after
euros.
How many years?
A year. 1 year.
After a year, 200 euros a year is what they owe him. And he's going to court over 200 euros.
He filed a criminal and civil complaint.
Jorge, I will send you a check for 200 euros. Stop it. This looks silly.
This is like the greatest story I'd ever heard.
This is right up there with Adrian Sutil, making a shiv out of a broken champagne flute. And stabbing a Renault person. That is just amazing.
I know, but who was like, I mean, again, if I had like Christian Horner money or something and I was just like, what am I going to do today? Jerry, what should we do today?
Yeah.
Let's go buy a Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. We could make 200 euros a year. No kidding.
I don't know. I don't even think he lives in Italy. Why the south of it? Like, there's so much story here.
There's so much head scratching. Why would you spend 1.4 million on the Ferris wheel that's going to net you out 200 euro a year?
Right. And you hadn't known this. Like, you did your due diligence, I'm sure.
Did somebody work up a pro forma for him? What was going on? Who makes? I mean, obviously, it's a good grief. It's a tax investment for a loss or something to mitigate.
For something. What does that tax write-off look like?
Oh, my gosh.
You're totally going to get audited if you put Ferris wheel as your income source. So I'm pretty sure.
I took a 1.399999800 $1 million loss on my Ferris wheel in southern Italy.
So there you go. I don't know.
Try taking that to your local H&R Block and having that dude do your taxes.
I just couldn't.
I'm sorry, sir. You can't write off the Ferris wheel as a business expense. No, I wrote it 1,000 times, but I was doing business with sponsors.
It's my office.
It's my office.
It's my office.
I've got my laptop there with me. We're doing business.
Oh, sweet. That's right.
Yeah.
Nobody else rides in there but me.
Good grief.
So, Jorge Lorenzo, if you were ever looking for something interesting to do with some money you had laying around, 1.4 million euros, head on over and Italy and get yourself a Ferris wheel.
If you're a Spaniard, yes, go to Italy and buy a Ferris wheel.
I don't know, right? It's not even like his hometown. Why this Ferris wheel?
I have no idea. That's just the most surreal thing.
I know, right? Some investigative journalism. He's going to show up at a race, and
somebody's going to ask him, dude, why did you do that? Why did you put that kind of money in for 200 euros? What were you thinking?
Yeah, right. Like, question 1, Casey Stoner, what did you tell Pecco? Right. Question 2, Lorenzo, what?
What were you thinking? Why would you? How can you rise to being a multi-time world champion in MotoGP? And I don't understand. Crazy.
Again, just because you can ride a bike doesn't mean you know what I mean? Like, that's always true. Right. Like, people are like, oh, well, he's a successful quarterback. That doesn't mean he knows how to do investments, right? Like, right?
Right. Well, let me just put it this way. You and I don't ride MotoGP bikes for a living and win world championships, but neither of us would invest $1.4 million for a 200 euro return. No.
I don't even ride a Ferris wheel. Ferris wheels seem like terrible. Yeah. I'm good. I like my feet on the ground. But right? Like, that seems like a terrible investment.
No. Oh, boy. I looked high and low this week for No Shit headlines. I only found one.
All right.
The headline is this: Adrian Newey's staggering working hours revealed with F1 legends Aston Martin move, quote, no marketing hype, end quote. Well, first of
He
all,
works a lot?
I
Is that
never
what that's
viewed
supposed to
Adrian going to Aston Martin as a marketing hype. I never viewed that. And I don't know that any real Formula One fan ever viewed, like when it came out, Adrian Newey's leaving Red Bull, he's joining Aston Martin. Ha! What a marketing hype that is. They're just, they're cashing in on Adrian's name. Nobody thinks that. Everybody knows what kind of a genius Adrian Newey is. This is not a marketing hype at all. It's not a marketing hype. It's the one thing Lawrence has invested in to solve all of his problems.
Yeah.
And so it happens to be a linchpin to their success is what he is, not a marketing hype. I thought that was just surreal. And what about his staggering working hours? Right?
I don't think that's unknown either, right?
know.
Like, yeah, he's a workaholic.
Yeah,
man.
I don't think
Fine.
that's unknown.
Live your life, man.
So there you go. That is a no shit headline. Oh, boy. Well.
He's trying, and he is building a car, people.
He is building a car. That isn't easy to do.
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah, let's just ask GM and Tyler Epp.
That's right. And Ferrari. My Ferrari
Tyler
engine.
knows. He built a Grand Prix out of a parking lot, for crying out loud, and put boats in a fake marina.
He painted the concrete blue.
I mean,
Come on.
that's the guy. If you needed a guy at Cadillac F1 team, that's your guy. He sold fake boats in a fake marina to fans for a premium. Okay. That's your guy.
So the fake marina made me think of Ted Kravitz, right? Because he made a lot of fun of the fake marina, as Ted would and as he should when they were at Miami the first year. That made me think that is who Jorge Lorenzo needs to be interviewed by. Ted Kravitz. Oh, I know you don't watch MotoGP. You may not know anything about, but this you need investigative journalism. You need to find out about this. Yeah, and you need to interview Jorge Lorenzo. That would be great. Yeah. That's the story I want to see next.
That would be fun.
Liberty Media, make it happen.
Make it happen. Make it happen. Yeah, Ted would be great at that.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah, okay.
You spent how much?
Yeah, you did what? Anyway.
Why a Ferris wheel?
Yeah, well, that...
Not the hook-a-duck? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, with that's just as weird as it gets. So on that note... We'll end the podcast, but a huge thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. We could not and literally would not do this podcast if it was not for our Patreon supporters. Right. So thank you and for your continued support. And if any of you out there enjoy the podcast and would like to support us, you can do that. You can just go to theparkforme.com. Down at the bottom or on the right-hand side says support us, and it'll take you to a link. You can support us a couple different ways. But we could not do this without you. And Tim, who's contributing on PayPal. Thank you, Tim. He's been a long-time contributor. He's just a delightful guy and a great supporter. So thanks to our PayPal supporters, too. Mm-hmm. And if you like the podcast, share it with somebody. If you like the YouTube videos, how about liking? How about subscribing? How about sharing? Right. We'd appreciate that. Don't keep it to yourself. I'm trying hard, folks. Everything I've done here is a white hat strategy. I've never bought a link. I don't do co-op. I don't do influencer stuff. I don't do any of the crap.
You do a great smoky eye, though. I think you could be an influencer, Tom. Yeah. You're just not applying yourself.
I know. I could do a good smoky eye. But I don't do any of that stuff, folks. I mean, it used to be way back in the day, if you Googled F1 podcast, we would show up, at the top or close to the top or whatever. Now you got a page, 15 page, because I don't do any of that. I don't go out and game the system. I'm not all about conversions and micro conversions and disruptive and interruptive marketing. And I don't do any of that stuff. I just don't. I don't have time to. It's not my day job, right? So I don't have time to do any of that. So I have to rely on all of our listeners and what little I do for that organic approach. And I've never done that since 2005. I've never done any of that. And so anything you guys do to help spread and share, and that is great and much appreciated because, I just think it's bunk. I ethically have an issue with it. So anyway, you can share your opinion too. Let us know about your dogs. And you can do that. You can even leave a picture of your dogs. You guys have probably seen pictures of my dogs.
Your cats.
And your
You don't have
cats?
to just leave dogs.
I have 2 cats. You know what my cats' names are?
I do.
It's Enzo
and
Luca. That's right. Enzo and Luca.
That's
Luca
right.
Di Montezemolo and Enzo Ferrari.
That's right.
They're brothers, and they're great. But anyway,
Yeah.
All right. Until next weekend, we've got the Singapore Grand Prix coming up this weekend, folks. It's always hot, humid, long. And this is the one race, folks, when the drivers get out of that cockpit, boy, they look like they've been up to a battle. This is a tough race. So we will be back next week with Paul in tow to do a race review. Hopefully that's exciting. And for Grace, hopefully McLaren does a better job. And that would be good. And better pit stops, by the way. She's not asking much, Zach. She's really not. She's just saying.
Just do your job, Zach.
Yeah,
that's all I'm asking.
all she's asking.
Nothing special.
It's nothing special. No big deal. So until next week when we come back to do it all over again, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camber, saying so long, Grace.
See you in a couple weeks.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. Don't feel like I'm going to prove it.